Hey guys, so I've been ill recently, but since I'm pretty stubborn, I've been trying to get on with doing everything the way I normally do it. Which includes going to work, which, in case you didn't know or haven't watched a previous video, I work in a shop on tills, which is about as interesting as it sounds. And since I'm way too stubborn and awkward on the phone, that I don't like to call people, even my work, to say I'm ill or I'm coughing up a lung, I just can't come in today. And I don't know if I've told you guys this before, because I cut out a lot of stuff in the videos. I know I've said it, but I don't know if I've included it in one of these videos. But my stepdad employed me, so my stepdad, who I live with, is my boss. So when I go to work, when people are like, oh, well you should have just called in sick, why didn't you do that? I mean, obviously, you are not well, you have plague, go home. I'm like, well, what could I have done? I live with the boss, I can't just call in sick, even if I am genuinely sick. Like, it's just uncomfortable. No. So this is the story of the most uncomfortable day of work I've probably ever had. It wasn't a bad day necessarily, just a really friggin' weird one because of like the confusion and like lack of brain functionality with all of the blah which was going around at the time. Alright, so the day starts where this guy comes to the tills, he's got his little kid with him, and they're buying a couple of toys. We have a deal on, it's like 2 for £20 or something, and the first sign that I shouldn't have been there, my manager comes up a little bit after and he's just standing behind the tills seeing if I need anything, and I sort of turn and look to him just after the customer's gone. I'm like, that deal doesn't make sense. The 2 toys were $12.99, but 2 $12.99 toys don't add up to 20, do they? And that was probably the first sign that I should have gone home, but like I say, I am way too stubborn to do that. Plus I'm a student in debt, I need money. Okay, so the second person that came up to me, it was a lady this time, and she came up to, I'm on the end till, so there's like 5 tills, and I was on the one right by like the exit door, so it meant I was just constantly like cold and hot with the door opening and closing the whole day, which didn't help given that I was already like in hot and cold flushes all day, which were just like, this is not comfortable, this is not good, I am dying. So she comes up to the till and I'm here in my sort of like half comatose state, just trying to put things through the till, wishing for the end of the day to come, or the end of days to come, just anything, let me go home. So I got all her stuff through and I'm really not paying attention to pretty much anything right now. So she gets to the other side of the tills and she's like, oh, I'm sorry dear, how do I get out? And I don't really know what my brain did at this point. I think it just like either stopped, farted, or just did a backflip or something and fell on its face, because the first thought that came to mind was, well obviously I'm right by the door. She would have tried to go out through that door, right? That would make sense. So if she can't get out through the door, that's the only door. How do we leave? How does anyone leave? How do we get out? My brain just went into like this little mini panic of like, what do we do now? No one can leave the shop. I'm never gonna get to go home. And it was the dumbest thought process that I think I've ever been through. Just obviously the door cannot be working if she hasn't tried that. Why would she not try the door? Obviously she tried the door. So from the lady's perspective, all she heard me doing was just muttering to myself, the door, the door, the door. And I don't really remember what happened at the end of that one. I think she just realised that the door was open and she left. But I'm really not sure. I hope so. I hope she's not still in the store. That would be creepy. But I mean, hey, she could survive on the food, so I guess it wouldn't be the worst fate. So after both of these experiences, I'm just getting closer and closer to the end of the day and just praying with all my might that I won't pass out before my shift ends. The next lady that came in just completely baffled me, and I couldn't really tell if it was my fault or her fault how this interaction went. So the lady comes through the tills, and it's not uncommon for there to be like customers carrying around their dogs around their arms. I mean, they're more often than not chihuahuas, and they kind of just look like squirrels without the big bushy tail. So, and obviously the rest of the customers will go, oh, it's so sweet, oh, but they don't really go anywhere near it because it's like, that's your space, that's your dog, I can respect that. And being that I work on tills, I kind of have to do the same thing, even when it's like a little, someone brought a little Alsatian puppy the other day and it was the most gorgeous thing and I loved it, but I wasn't allowed to stroke it. I couldn't show my love and affection for the poor squeet pupper. Squeet, the poor squeet pupper. But yeah, so one of the people with a small tiny puppy dog come through the tills, and the lady immediately demands that she stops so that she can smoke the dog. Oh gosh. I still do have plague. I can't thunk. Thunk. Ah! So the lady demands that the person with the dog stops and she strokes the dog for a bit. And she's already talking quite loudly to herself and to the kid that's with her. And I put through her stuff while she's giving the dog attention and everything, and it's fine. Like, I can appreciate the fact that the lady wanted to stroke the dog because it is a cute thing. Still a bit of a weird thing, but yeah. So all the stuff goes through the till, and for the entire day I've been having to serve with like the smaller plastic bags because we didn't have any of the big ones. I don't know why. I don't really care. So this lady, she immediately demanded, no, I must have the big bags. And since she was so impatient and just annoying, I wanted to get her off the tills, I managed to scrounge together 2 big bags from somewhere and just gave them to her. Like, sure, have that, double bag your stuff, be done with it and go. Like, I have plague right now, I can't be dealing with you, I'm sorry, but no. So I give her the bags and she's just like, oh, but I wanted 2 bags. So bearing in mind that my brain is currently in the position of a lady said she couldn't leave, so we're all stuck here forever. So when she says that she wants 2 bags when I've given her 2 bags, or at least I thought I gave her 2 bags, again, my brain is just like, potato what now? I don't know. Oh, the flowers. My brain kind of just felt like it was deep frying potatoes, but the potatoes were my brain, but the brain was also holding the frying pan, and it was a very, very confusing time for me. Like, I don't know anything at this point. I was near the end of my shift, I'd been there for about 8 hours, and this lady is just like, why is this not 2 bags? She'd already double packed them, like they were inside each other, and she was just like, there is not 2 bags here. My brain couldn't comprehend either the stupidity of her or I had messed up somehow, and I didn't understand. So eventually she just left and gave me this really contemptuous look of, ugh, this girl can't count 2. And I'm just like, I don't understand the world. What is life? Ah! But anyway, I managed to survive to the end of the day, so I lived, and it is good. But yeah. I still have plague.